Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of the Luminary Agent Podcast. This Luminary Agent Podcast is a no sugar-coated marketing conversation. Here you'll get honest conversation and actionable advice to help you grow your real estate business right now. We talk about tried and true things every agent should be doing, as well as up-and-coming marketing trends. I am your co-host, Cody Martens. I am the founder and CEO of Luminary Agent.
And I'm Sarah Jacquier. I'm our content director.
And we are going to talk about probably our most talked about or most questioned thing that we ever get from our clients. Wouldn't you say, Sarah?
Yeah, we get asked this question all the time. There is so much confusion and uncertainty about this topic, and we're just going to clear it up for you right here.
Sweet. So today's topic is the difference between Facebook profiles and Facebook business pages. We're going to talk about the difference between them, when you might want to use your profile versus a page, when it might be better to use a page versus a profile, and then we're going to touch on some best practices. We get this question all the time. I do think there's a lot of confusion about it, and we have obviously a lot of experience with this. I think that poor Sarah is probably the admin of more pages than she would like to admit.
I do have quite a few.
There's quite a few in our business manager, I noticed.
Quite a few. I've got a lot of power.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Woohoo.
I run the world here.
Yep. Well, Sarah, why don't you start us off today? We're going to talk about kind of the differences between a profile and a page.
Okay, so let's start off with some of the things that a profile can't do, and that it does. So first of all, a profile is an actual person, one real life person. You can only have one profile. So I don't have 10 profiles. I can't have more than the one that I have.
Because you're a person.
I'm a person. I am the only Sarah Jacquier. Maybe.
That you know of.
That I know of. There aren't very many. We'll just say that. And you can only have 5,000 friends, which isn't a problem for most people. But if you have a pretty big client base, it could be a problem. You can't go above 5,000. You have to start deleting when you get to that point. You also can't run ads from your personal profile. Can't have sponsored posts. You can be private. A business page is never private, but your personal profile, you have quite a bit of control over what other people see. You can allow people to see all of your posts, or you can allow them to see some of your posts, or you can really completely shut it down. You can even make it...
Yeah, you can even make it so people can't even find you, can't you?
You can make it so people can't find you. You can make it so they can't find you in Google. You can make it so they can't add you as a friend. There is a lot of control when you have a personal profile. And some people really like to have that control, but you don't get that with a business page. And also technically, Facebook's rules say that you're not supposed to use a profile for business purposes. So theoretically, they could shut you down. I don't know of that happening, but technically that's in the terms of service.
And that's an interesting one because obviously, real estate is such a relationship-based business. And, you often do, in a roundabout way, use your personal profile for business. But I think that the thing that you need to keep in mind here is as long as you're not actually selling from your profile. Like if you are talking about look at this crazy listing that just hit the market, or I'm showing this property and look at this, basement bar, or you have a client closing photo, like none of that is, I don't think any of that would be considered selling or commerce in a way, right?
Right. I also have to think Facebook's pretty lax on this because I log into my Facebook account and I'm constantly being sold many, many, many things from stay-at-home mom friends.
Yes.
Literally, constantly. So I have to think Facebook is not really cracking down on this.
Yeah, the MLM is alive and well in Facebook.
It is very well. Very, very well.
Oh, that's funny. Well, so let's talk about when it's best to use your profile. And so my take on this, my personal take, is that basically there's really not a reason to never use your personal profile for business. And because people like connecting with people, this is something that we know, and being a human being and getting people to know, like, and trust you means connecting with them on a personal level. And so even if you're the, CEO of a real estate company, or you're on a larger team, like, you still have functions, like sales functions there, that are worth using your personal profile to keep in touch with people. Because really that's what you're doing. Like, social media is meant to build relationships and stay in touch with people. It's not meant to sell listings. At least it's not its main purpose. And that's certainly not what your personal profile is meant for. And so I think that you should always be using your personal profile to connect with people that you're friends with, to connect with your clients. And there are also, I think, a few other ways that where a profile is ideal. I think that if you are a single agent and you run your business by referral, that you should leverage the power of your profile, because your personal profile, the posts that you put on your personal profile, are going to have a way better chance of being seen. They've got a much bigger reach than posts that are done from a business page. I mean, that's like one of the main obvious, benefits. I think another reason to use your personal profile is, even if you are on a team and maybe you have a team business page, you should still be sharing stuff from that business page to your personal profile, because it's just it's a more casual and personal way to connect with people, I think. So I think that there are a lot of pluses to utilizing your personal profile and becoming friends with your clients, to actually, keep in touch with people and help people remember you as not only a realtor, but as their realtor.
Yeah. I think it's worth circling back to what you just said and highlighting the dramatic difference between the reach you get on a business page and the reach you get on a personal page, because people are often surprised at how dramatic that difference is. So if you post something to your business page and you don't pay to have it sponsored, you can expect 1, 2, or 3% of your followers are going to see that post. It's incredibly low.
Yeah.
That can change if you get a lot of engagement, and if people share it, you might get a little bit higher, but for the most part, very, very few people are going to see that post. If you post something on your personal profile, a lot of people are going to see it. So it's really worth considering your purpose, if you're posting to your business page, how you're going to get people to see those posts, because people are not going to business pages to check out what they've posted. That's just not what happens.
No,
so,
it's not. Well, and I also, what I think also a mental benefit, I guess you could say, of using your personal profile for real estate is, I think it forces you to be more choosy at what you do choose to post as it relates to business, because you want to make sure that you're respecting your audience, because the audience is they're your friends, like they're people that you know. And so I think with people that we know, we're much more respectful of, are we putting something out there that they are actually going to find interesting, or are they going to think I'm being a sleazy salesperson?
Yeah.
Whereas on your business page, we don't really run that same filter through our heads. So almost when we post to our business page, we almost go the exact opposite, where we're like, it's always hard sell. I mean, that's the vast majority of the Facebook pages we see are like that.
Yeah.
So I like the benefit of that personal profile, like it forces you to run that filter, I think.
Yeah. Well, and that's exactly one of the reasons Facebook has changed it. It used to be that you could post on a business page and get a really big reach without paying. But one of the reasons Facebook has changed that is that people don't want to log into Facebook and see ad after ad after ad, or salesy post after salesy post after salesy post. And so
and
Facebook changed
that.
that.
They want as much of that room as possible to be for actual ads.
Yeah, exactly. And they want
honest.
a reason to charge people. So that was a big factor behind their changing that. And I also think it's worth pointing out that you have a lot of control when you're on your personal profile. You can actually post to groups of people. If you have something that you only want to share with a group of past clients, you can do that. If you want to share something only with, family and really close friends, you can do that too. It takes a little bit of work to set up those groups and make sure that you're posting to the right people, but a lot of people don't realize how much control they have over what they're posting.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. And that's a concern that people have with using their personal profile is they say, well, if I invite all my clients on here, what if I want to go crazy about some subject,
Yeah.
I mean, what if I want to have a political rant, or what if I want to get preachy about something that I know is a divisive topic? And one of the best practice that I have for this solution is, and we'll just jump to this because we're talking about it, but it's to add your clients as an acquaintance. So when you friend someone, if you hover over the little check mark with the person that says that you're friends, if you hover over that, you have options that pop up. And if you check acquaintance, then it marks them, it basically tags them as an acquaintance. And now when I go to make a new post, I can say friends accept acquaintances when I post it. And then all of my friends will see the post that I just put on Facebook, but my acquaintances won't. And so that's a really easy way to mitigate that, where you're using your personal profile for business means, but you still have the ability to be 100% you, basically, as much as you want to. And we can link to a quick tutorial of that in the show notes, because it really is easy to do, but it's actually something that very few people know about. So that's a great observation there. So, well, Sarah, let's jump into when we've talked about like when you would use a profile and what the benefits are of that. What are some of the benefits to using a business page for your business? Maybe what are the benefits of using it over a profile, as well as when you would want to use it with one?
Yeah, there are definitely some benefits to having a business page. So one is, if you want to build a community of a certain type of person, you're really going to want to do that on a business page. Another is if you're
example. What's an example of that?
So
like we do, like I know we've had a client do one with like VA loans, right? Like where they started a community of veterans,
Good.
Or I think we've also seen before, if you have a client that wants to maybe start a local page about the actual area that they live in,
right.
like Scottsdale, business page or something like that. Then, I mean, I think those are great because the page isn't about you, it's about the subject, right? And like your personal profile, I mean, it is your personal profile, so it's about you. So if you want it to be something that's like totally not about you, then I think that like you said, a page is a good way to go.
Yeah. I just remembered I came across a realtor a while ago who is really into tennis and has a lot of clients that are really into tennis. And he actually had a business page that had a lot of discussion about tennis, which he may not have wanted on his personal page, but was perfect for a business page.
Totally. So. And it kind of frees people up. Like when it's not on someone's personal profile, you feel like you have more right to make comments and share and do stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like sometimes people don't want to comment or don't want to chime in on someone's personal posts because they're like, it's their page, it's their page.
Yeah.
Like you see that sometimes. Well, yeah. And you see that sometimes where people are like, this is my page and I'll say whatever I want to, like it's so I think that levels the playing field a little bit more too.
I do think that's highly dependent on the group of people that you're targeting. So that VA page that you're mentioning that we ran for some time, though veterans tend to be incredibly active. And so we got a lot of posts and a lot of engagement. And that was something we had done research on and heard before, that we would likely get really good engagement. And we did, but that may not be true with every group. So you have to do your research on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Not every topic is not every group of people is that galvanized,
Yes. Yep, absolutely. So another reason you might want to have a business page is if you need analytics. You are not going to get any kind of analytics with a personal profile, other than being able to see likes and comments that everybody can see. When you have analytics, you get a little bit more info. A lot of times we think analytics aren't all that useful. They don't really tell you a whole lot. They're kind of vanity stats. So it's something to be aware of, but potentially may not be a big deal.
And you can almost just get, even on your personal profile, if a post does great, then because it's getting a lot of comments or it's getting a lot of likes. Right. So the actual reach of the post, it doesn't have that much relevance. It's more about the nice thing with the analytics is being able to see trends over time as to which posts are doing better than others. But you can really see that from the engagement that you're getting on your personal profile as well, even without an actual, insights dashboard.
Yeah. I think analytics are one of those things people get hung up on that maybe aren't very important a lot of times.
Yeah.
Another reason to get a business page is if you want to run promotions. We mentioned earlier that personal profiles cannot run ads. And so that's a big deal. If you want to run any kind of an ad or sponsor any of your posts so that more people see them, you're going to need a business page.
Yep. And that business page doesn't necessarily have to be active with people. You could literally create a business page today and then start using it to run ads. But the problem is that your page is going to be linked in every ad that you run. And so if I see an ad, I can click on the page running that ad and go to the page. And then if it's an empty page, that doesn't look very promising as somebody who's maybe clicking on the ad because I want to work with this person or because I want to read more content from them. It doesn't give any kind of credibility to you whatsoever.
Looks a little sketchy.
It definitely does. Yeah.
I would say if you're going to run an ad, you better at least be posting some kind of content so it looks like there's a real person behind that ad.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with that.
Also, if you're in an organization and multiple people need to be able to post, you're probably not going to want to give everyone access to your personal profile. And actually, that's also in the terms of service. You're not supposed to do that. So if you want, an assistant posting, then you're going to have to use a business page.
And honestly, that makes complete sense because your personal profile is supposed to be you. And so if there are multiple people posting to it, it's just not very, I don't want to say it's dishonest, but it's certainly a little misleading if everybody's thinking that it's you that's posting it and it's not. Even the stuff that we post for our customers, we only post onto their business page and then have them share it themselves so they can add their own 2 cents. Because really, your social media needs to come from you. It needs to, be about what you have to say. That's, I think that's incredibly important.
It is. And along those lines, if you want to use a scheduler, we use Buffer. If you want to use a scheduler for your social media, which I highly recommend, it makes it a lot easier to stay consistent with social media. You actually have to have a business page. Facebook no longer allows you to post to personal profiles. That's a recent change.
Yeah, so, thanks to all the, what happened? Was it the Cambridge Analytica?
It was the European, and then the European laws changed about, what was allowed. We all got those cookies notifications to every site we went to.
That's right.
We got all those emails.
That's right.
That was tied into this Facebook change.
That's right. That's totally right.
Yep.
Awesome.
It was fun.
Well, and one other thing about when you would use a page, I don't think we mentioned this, but if you're a company or a brand, then you obviously need a business page because a company or a brand isn't an actual person, it's an entity. Right. And you might have a lot of employees working there, and that goes in hand with multiple people needing to be able to manage the page, different things like that. So I think that's definitely like something that you have to kind of be mindful of. So,
And I do think there are times when you want both. I think a lot of people probably will want to have both. There are certainly compelling reasons. You kind of get the best of both worlds.
yeah, I would say,
You have both.
something that we tell all of our clients, and this is actually like this is our actual practice
Yeah.
is we set all of our clients up with a business page because we want to make sure that we're respecting that no business on personal profiles thing. And a lot of times the posts that we might do for somebody are definitely more business in nature. And it also helps with our scheduler and stuff. But then we encourage them to share those posts from their business page onto their personal profile and then add their own little, bits
Yeah.
of information to it. So that's like another, I think, piece of that as well.
And from everything I've read, you don't get quite as good a reach when you do that versus originating it on your page. However, you can also do that. You can save the post to your phone and post it yourself. And that is actually probably the very best way to do it.
Yeah.
Unless you want people to be going to your business page and you want them to see that it's coming from there. It's just a little bit more work. But in an ideal world, that would probably be the best thing to do.
Yeah, I totally agree because it's right. It's true. Like the page is going to get the least amount of engagement and reach. Sharing from a page onto your personal profile is kind of a mix in the middle.
Yeah.
But then a post straight to your personal profile is always going to do best. So it's like even if you post something to your business page, if you can natively post the same thing to your personal profile, as long as it's like not straight up selling, then that is, you're totally right that that's the best way to do that for sure.
But, if it helps you be consistent and you're just sharing, that's still a lot better than doing nothing. So,
yeah, it's very true. Yeah. I mean, we kind of talked before the show that we're just kind of talking about like best practices here, like if you were open to doing anything and you want to just know like how can I do, how can I engage with Facebook the best? How can I utilize it best for my real estate business? Like these are the best practices, but you still have to do what you're most comfortable with. And we talk to, people all the time. I mean, it's not the majority of people, but we definitely run into a fair amount of people who say, I want to keep my personal and my business completely separate. Like I'm not friends with my clients on Facebook, like I just keep things really separate, and that's fine. Like you have to take this information and then do with it what you're most comfortable doing. We're just giving you basically the best practices. And if you really want to get the most out of it, then this is what you should do. It's kind of the same thing with video that we talk about all the time. Should you be doing video? Yes, absolutely. 100%. The majority of the content that you put out should be doing video. Now, if you're one of those people that's like, I am never, it'll be a cold day in hell before I ever get myself on video because that's ridiculous, then that's a decision that you make. There's just the opportunity cost associated with that, But then maybe you can make up for that in other ways by doing other things. So it really is what's comfortable for you. But what I would say to counter myself is that you can't expect that it's going to be easy right from the start when it's something that you've never done before, right? So maybe give it a chance, go outside of your comfort zone, be a little bit uncomfortable with it, but see if it becomes a little bit easier. I think people are surprised when they start sharing business stuff on their personal page and start integrating real estate into their personal profiles on Facebook, how receptive people actually are and actually like the type of great engagement that they get from people.
Yeah.
I mean, I literally saw that today from customers and clients that we have that were following our advice and posting, a post that we told them to make.
Yeah, we have one in particular. So I'm happen to be friends with him on my personal Facebook, and he's been sharing his stuff. He was kind of resistant for quite some time, but he's been doing it, and he gets a great response. And I really think that what he's adding to what we're posting for him is really helpful and is very him. Yeah. And I just think it's great that he's doing
Yeah.
it. It's cool to see how that's
And I
happening.
I love seeing people embrace that because they do it and they realize like, oh, this actually isn't that bad. You know?
Yeah.
Like it's not the end of the world. People aren't going to hate me. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I think it's a really great thing. So, and then one other thing that we did mention this before, but not worrying about the statistics part,
Yeah.
right? Like how many likes you have on your business page does not matter. How many shares or the reach that you get, like those individual numbers from individual posts, they just don't matter. Now over a long period of time, if you are consistently doing stuff that is yielding little to no results, then it's time to rethink the strategy as a whole. But honestly, like if you're being yourself and you're doing what you would do and you're posting stuff that you care about and you're interacting with people in the way that you would, then you're doing your best, and that's all you can ask for.
Yeah. I totally agree. It's really not worth getting caught up in all of those statistics because it just hampers you from doing great things, you know?
Exactly. It hampers you from just doing because when you're constantly thinking, is this going to do well? Is this not going to do well? That's not the point. Like the biggest struggle that everyone has in social media is just posting. It's like coming up with what to post and then just posting. And I have ideas all the time. And even I have a hard time executing on all of them because I think, oh, that's dumb, or that'll sound weird when I say it, or whatever. Yeah. Like you just have to, it's so critically important to push past that. And that's really like that's our goal kind of for this podcast. And for a lot of what we do is trying to get realtors to push past their comfort zone and do what we know will make a positive difference in their business.
Yeah. Gary Vaynerchuk, I literally watched this video yesterday. He was trying to help someone with his Instagram feed. And he said, you're not posting enough. It was like once every 3 days. And the person said, yeah, but I'm really worried about the quality of what I post. I want it to be really great. And Gary said, you know what? That's great. But you don't have the luxury of doing that. You just need to post. Forget quality. It's all about quantity. Post. And then eventually you can get to where you have the time to worry about quality. But he was literally saying, don't worry about that. Just post. And I think that's pretty powerful.
It is pretty powerful. And like we learn by doing, like all people learn by doing. And you are never going to know the type of posts that do better than others until you've done a whole bunch of posts that really sucked. Yep. And you've started to see the little nuggets that have come through. And a lot of people are perfectionists. I'm a perfectionist, absolutely. And I know that I want to know something's going to work before I do it. And the trouble is that is not how social media works. And that's not how marketing in general works, really. You know, it's all art and science. And, that is so true. Like you have to just start posting as much as you can and get past that barrier. Yeah.
And, if you make a mistake, I said this last week, if you make a mistake and it's terrible, everyone will forget about it right away. So there's nothing to worry about.
And you could always delete it. I mean, you have the power to delete it. This is why I love stories so much, is they go away after 24 hours.
I know.
I don't remember the stories that I don't even remember if I posted any today. Like I probably posted 3 and I don't even remember. Like it's just, you just have to kind of make it a habit and just get past that. I don't know.
Yep. Just produce.
Just post.
Just do it.
Cool.
Don't overthink it.
I know. Seriously. Well, Sarah, I think that was a really good podcast today about the differences between a profile and a business page.
And I think we have a blog post with some of this info in it.
We do. We'll make sure that we link to it in the show notes. Yeah. One actually final thing that I do have to say about this, and this is something that does confuse people a lot of the time, is any business page you always access through your personal login on Facebook. There is no such thing as a separate login for a business page. All you do is you make yourself or somebody else an admin of a page. Every page always has to have at least one admin, but it can have a lot of admins if it needs to. But you always access it by logging into Facebook using your personal account, your personal profile, your own personal username and password.
Yep.
We get that question a lot.
Good public service announcement.
PSA, that's right. Cool. Yes. Well, I think that's it. Awesome.
That's it.
That's a wonderful show. Sarah, as always, thank you for being my co-host today. Thank you, everybody, for this was episode 3 of the Luminary Agent podcast. These come to you every Wednesday, and we are super excited that you are listening. One quick plug that I will put out. We just released a 14-day social media challenge. So if you, like pretty much every other realtor out there, struggles to not only come up with content to post, but also just the things that you're supposed to do on social media, we have created a 14-day social media challenge that you can access on our website. Just go to luminaryagent.com/14day. That's 14 day, and that will take you right to the 14-day challenge. And you can sign up using your good old-fashioned email address, or you can sign up using your Facebook Messenger. And every day we will deliver a new challenge into your inbox or your Messenger inbox. And it lays out with a video. It's got tips on how to do a post. And then we also give you an engagement tip every day. We've worked really hard on this. And so far, the people that have been in it, we've been getting fabulous feedback from. So we encourage you all to visit that, luminaryagent.com/14day, the number 1, the number 4 day. And I've been Cody Martens, founder and CEO of Luminary Agent.
And I'm Sarah Jacquier, our content director.
And we will talk to you all next week. Thanks.
That's right.
Hey!